just to try to stay focused. Don't never let anything, you know what I mean, try to get you off your game plan. Maybe the devil or something. You know what I mean? Trying to.
It's coming out publicly. So now, a lot of people have something to say. Will the fight still go on? I have no idea. You get what I'm saying? Lamont Roach, you might need to make contingency plans or whatever.
It's like, even if you want to give Gervonta the benefit of the doubt and say that he's innocent, when you got track record of 4 or 5 DV cases, all proven guilty, bro, it gets to a...
After his recent arrest, Gervonta Davis finally broke his silence, stressing that he is determined to refocus on his career. But with the highly anticipated Lamont Roach rematch now hanging in the balance, fans are left questioning what the future holds. Some argue that Davis's fame makes him an easy target for allegations, yet the impact of this controversy on his career is undeniable. Nothing official has been announced, but the growing tension threatens to derail the fight. And if the situation escalates, supporters may have to face the reality that this long-awaited matchup might never happen.
So this will be a violation of his probation, but he's a celebrity. Nothing's going to happen. He's going to get a slap on the wrist. He has money and stuff like that. Now, the question I have is this. You know, what's going to happen with the Lamont Roach rematch? Will that fight still go on? Do you get what I'm saying? Now, I don't expect Tank Davis fans to, you know, they're going to brush it off like it ain't nothing, because that's what they do. They literally, a lot of them worship this guy. So, and I get it, I understand. However, will that fight still go on? That's probably why we haven't heard anything. I was listening to Blue Blood Sports TV, but then when I was listening to his video, guess what? I'm finna show y'all something. Now, some of y'all may say, oh, this is nothing. There's a podcaster that I watch all the time by the name of Ticket TV. I watch a lot of the big podcasters, right? Podcasts, right? I want y'all to see something. Y'all see this right here. Let me show y'all this. As you can see right here, Ticket TV is talking about this. And the title is this: Breaking News, boxing superstar Gervonta Tank Davis arrested for beating up women.
The uncertainty surrounding Davis's next moves casts a heavy shadow over his scheduled fights with both Jake Paul and Lamont Roach. While no cancellations have been confirmed, promoters, fans, and broadcasters are openly worried. Major boxing events thrive on precise timing, meticulous planning, and sustained momentum. But any legal disruption can shatter that foundation. Negotiations, marketing campaigns, and training schedules are finely tuned, and even a brief delay risks damaging the commercial value and competitive legitimacy of these bouts.
The worst time for Tank. Of course, he's chasing that rematch with Lamont Roach, and that big money Netflix fight with Paul. And this case could potentially cancel both of these fights. For the Roach rematch, it's just kind of being assumed that this fight is happening in mid-August. Everyone has seemed to acknowledge that it's happening, yet there's been no official announcements. Why has there been no official announcements? Well, maybe they were/are waiting to see what happens with the case. They have known that this was gonna probably come out for the last month, so maybe they were either bracing for impact or hoping it could be all sorted out. But we're now about a month out from the proposed rematch, and time is running out. Every day that goes by, it looks less and less likely, and the news today certainly won't instill any hope. Even if the rematch does happen, the conditions are about as bad as they can get for Tank. In what might be the highest pressure fight of his career, he won't have a complete camp and would have legal proceedings hanging over his head. Combine this with the fact that he seemed to be rattled and emotional after the draw, it's either a combination for a great performance or a combination for an absolute train crash.
Each passing day makes it harder to believe Davis will make it to the ring on schedule. The rematch with Roach is especially significant because of their unfinished rivalry, while the Jake Paul fight promises massive financial and crossover appeal. As the situation unfolds, organizers are preparing for every possibility, from rescheduling to outright cancellation. For Davis, however, the consequences extend beyond money or matchups. Delays could stall his momentum, affect his rankings, and disrupt his rhythm as a fighter. The entire boxing world is waiting for clarity before these rare opportunities slip through the cracks.
The Jake fight was seemingly signed and sealed, and all he had to do was beat Roach. And after he didn't, it was pushed back until he could, with Jake in the meanwhile opting for Chavez. But Paul versus Tank is a fight that doesn't make too much sense on paper, but when you break down the circumstances around it, it kinda does make more sense. It would be another fight like Mayweather versus Logan. It's the biggest money fight and the biggest eye-drawing fight Tank can currently get. And for him, even with the size difference, he would probably see it as a pretty easy night's work. And with all this, before the news broke today, there was a rumour in about the last week going around that they might be potentially skipping the Roach rematch and going straight to Paul. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's still somewhat in the plan.
Adding to the speculation, an online exchange between Davis and Lamont Roach stirred up even more debate. Their social media back and forth revealed obvious tension, but also raised questions about Davis's mindset. Roach sounded confident, even taunting, while Davis's replies were vague, which led many fans to believe he wasn't fully committed to a rematch. Some see this as hesitation or distraction, others say it's just the weight of his personal issues bleeding into the public eye. Either way, these digital confrontations shape public perception and often influence how analysts interpret a fighter's intentions.
Lamont Roach posted, laugh out loud, buddy knows damn well I don't mess around like that. He gassing y'all up to justify why he ain't do his part of the deal yet. He really might pull out of this fight. Stay tuned. Gervonta Davis responded with, you a B, I can meet you at your school, son, if you want. That got nothing to do with boxing. We talking about the fight that's supposed to be happening, the rematch, you feel me? And he want to respond about meeting you up outside, meeting you up at your son's school. That's a little confusing, my people, so it makes me feel like this might be true. Like, if it wasn't true, Gervonta Davis would have said, yo, what are you talking about? The fight's still on, you getting knocked out. And I start trying to talk street, you feel me, my people? Let me know how you feel about this. Do you think this is true? Do you feel like Lamont Roach is just letting the cat out the bag? Like, yo, my people, Gervonta Davis might pull out of the fight. He's gassing y'all up and trying to start outside beef, but this is the truth. And if Gervonta Davis wasn't going to call out the fight, then he would have said, yo, that's a lie. I'm knocking him out, my people, you feel me? And then after this, Gervonta Davis also posted, yo, y'all could take the #1 spot. I don't care for boxing no more, my people. Pretty much saying like, yo, take it, Lamont Roach, because the next person that's behind him is Lamont Roach, because Lamont Roach just had the draw with him that everybody feels like he beat him, you feel me? Like, Gervonta Davis before this, he was untouchable. Everybody felt like he was unbeatable. Nobody was going to beat Gervonta Davis. Whoever got in there is getting knocked out. And now that all switched once he got that draw with Lamont Roach, you feel me? And after all this, Gervonta Davis also was saying like, yo, we know where you live. We'll pull up to your house. We know where you live in Marlboro. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it, my people. Like, if we talking boxing, let's keep it boxing. But he's talking street out of nowhere, and that's what makes me feel like, man, he probably is going to call out the fight. Because if it wasn't, he would have said he's not.
Right now, Davis's supporters recognize he's facing one of the most challenging stretches of his career. As a world-class athlete, he already carries the pressure of staying in peak condition, but with public scrutiny and personal battles added to the mix, the challenge is magnified. Maintaining mental strength is just as important as physical skill, and many believe Davis must find healthier ways to cope with stress. Mentorship, counseling, or even restructuring his inner circle could help him regain control and sharpen his focus. His natural talent is unquestionable, but how he manages the current storm will decide whether he keeps climbing or sees his career interrupted. At this point, fans are rooting for him to channel his energy productively and reassert himself as a disciplined, composed professional.
You better have that same energy when you get into that ring for this rematch with Lamont. Because I'm getting so tired of hearing about these DV charges you keep catching. So apparently Gervonta Davis has been arrested for another DV case. I think this is about his 3rd or 4th one now, probably more than that. To be honest, this don't really shock me. Because y'all remember when he was dating Ari and they had got into a real bad and he pulled her wig off in the middle of the street, right? That incident was all over the internet. And fast forward, there was another incident that happened back in 2022 with another baby mama, where she claims that she was in the car and things got really rough between them and she made a frantic call to 911, which she should not have made, she claims. And also said that Gervonta did not hurt her or her daughter. So why did you call the police? It's giving, I'm not mad no more, and at the end of the day, that's my baby daddy. So let me go ahead and scrap this up, clear up this rumor so nothing else goes any further with this. I really don't understand what be going on with men putting their hands on people. It's like, even if you want to give Gervonta the benefit of the doubt and say that he's innocent, when you got track record of 4 or 5 DV cases, all proven guilty, bro, it gets to a point. Don't you blow off enough steam in the ring And this is really disappointing for Gervonta because it's like, do you want to throw away your career? You're literally number one right now. You've been number one. You probably will stay number one as long as you keep doing what you're doing. Because as many people I see it unfold, it seemed like Lamont Roach was his only real competition. Rematch on the way, by the way. Really big fight. He got to be there for that. I don't know what he's going through, and maybe it's just me, but I do feel like ever since that fight with Lamont Roach, he's been off lately. He ain't been on social media as much. Now he's going back to his ways like this.
The controversy is especially frustrating because the first fight between Davis and Roach ended in a controversial draw, leaving fans divided and demanding closure. Walking away now would leave an incomplete chapter in Davis's career. Though he has already achieved major victories and earned respect in the sport, that unresolved outcome still lingers over his legacy. A rematch would not only settle the debate but also cement Davis's status as one of boxing's elite. Historically, the greatest fighters have sought to erase doubts by finishing unfinished business inside the ring. For Davis, defeating Roach decisively would reaffirm that he doesn't shy away from challenges, no matter how controversial or high stakes.
August 16th, Lamont Roach, Tank Davis in Vegas. First and foremost, I've never seen somebody celebrate a draw so much in my entire life. My man went on a press tour saying he got the best version of Tank. Tank has no power, he has minimum skills, and it just made it seem like he was a cakewalk almost. One thing we do know, we see a lot of Lamont Roach and very little Tank, which is telling me somebody locked in and somebody's not. Lamont need to worry about putting the beard down and getting in the gym, because I haven't seen Tank since that fight ended, which lets me know he wants this rematch really, really bad, which means he's not coming to play around. Did he make a lot of mistakes in that last fight? Absolutely. Did he let you hang around too long? Absolutely. Did Lamont Roach show that he could take Tank's power? Absolutely. But we also know who looked like what at the end of the fight. If Tank shows up the same way he showed up in the last fight, Lamont, you may have a chance. 100%. If Tank actually turns on the heat in the beginning of the fight versus filling you out for the first 4 or 5 rounds, knockout in 6. But we're gonna stay close to everything. We're gonna watch some of the press runs and stuff like that, and we're gonna see what type of Tank is gonna show up, because one thing we do know is he was very uninterested in this whole ordeal. But it was very, very bad on Tank's part to actually have somebody move up who we had no clue about to hang around. That is what made Tank look so bad. It wasn't the fact that he had a draw in the fashion that he did. It was the fact that he was really supposed to clean you up because we didn't know you. So congrats to you for doing what you did and showing up that night. But some of the stuff you've been saying, it's just been like, all right, bro, remember, it was a draw. It was a draw. But what do y'all think? Who do y'all have for this rematch? How do you think it's going to go?
This current situation has also drawn comparisons to 2022, when Davis faced a wave of controversy just before his blockbuster fight with Ryan Garcia. Back then, legal distractions briefly overshadowed the buildup, though the fight eventually went on. Today, fans can't help but notice the parallels. Are these incidents just bad luck, or do they point to deeper issues with handling high-pressure moments? Whatever the case, the repeated pattern is starting to worry even Davis's most loyal supporters.
Any of the details, this is the information that is available to us as of this recording. So again, I'm saying unfortunate news because Tank Davis is scheduled to fight, and he's scheduled to fight in 11 days, and it's almost midnight my time, Pacific Standard Time. So that means really 10 days. Does this affect in any way? Will this affect Tank Davis and his fight? You know, I don't know. I don't know all the details, but we've seen stuff like this happen before in the past. And since it's so fresh, today being December 27th, I don't think it will impact or, you know, postpone the fight or anything like that, because it'll be too quick to go to trial or anything like that. However, some would wonder, could this affect him mentally? Right? You left Mayweather Promotions, you're your own boss, doing your own thing, so this is your first foray into that. You have a difficult Olympian in terms of Hector Luis Garcia that you're getting ready to fight, a little bit taller and bigger than you, and you know, now you have something in the background. This I can't say it's news to Gervonta Davis in terms of him having little run-ins, because he had a run-in with some type of vehicular hit and run.
Now, with a July 29, 2025 court date looming, Davis's career faces yet another turning point. Speculation is growing that he may be forced into a lengthy break from boxing, possibly as long as a year. For a fighter in his prime, that kind of pause can be devastating. Boxing careers thrive on rhythm, conditioning, and visibility. A year away could mean lost championship opportunities, missed endorsement deals, and setbacks in rankings. More than just a delay, it could alter the trajectory of his career at a critical moment. Fans are anxiously waiting, knowing that how Davis handles this chapter will shape his long-term legacy.
Gervonta got arrested, so the fight is off, y'all. So Gervonta got arrested for allegedly smacking his baby mother. And they was like, this not the first time. Damn, my boy. Now, I don't know if the fight is really not going to happen. I'm just saying, if I was Gervonta, I would not even do this fight. Because this is just a distraction. Look at him, y'all. He don't even look focused. He look like he in a sunken place. He just looking like, damn. Fuck. So he was arrested in Miami on July 11th. They said this little altercation that supposedly happened between him and his baby mother happened on June 15th, which was Father's Day. So they say Gervonta went to his ex-girlfriend's house to go pick up the kids. And when the kids got in the car, an argument happened, allegedly, between him and the baby mother. And he told her, hey, get these kids. And then when she proceeded to get the kids out the car, that's when she said he struck her in her face. Now, y'all, I don't know if he did it. I'm hoping he didn't do it. This my boy. So she said after he did that to her, she had a minor cut on her lip from the incident. This shit crazy, fool. So what do y'all think? If it was you in this situation, how long do you think he finna sit? And would you still do this boxing match that's supposed to happen on August? I'm just telling y'all, I don't know, bruh. He do not look like he focused. I don't want this man to get in that ring and then lose that, like for sure, go in there and fuck around, get knocked out. I'm like, damn, bruh. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments.
At the same time, some believe this could be the perfect chance for Davis to step back and reset. A pause doesn't have to mean the end of his career, it could instead serve as a turning point. Time away from the chaos might give him clarity, perspective, and renewed motivation. Champions aren't only measured by their wins, but by how they adapt and grow through adversity. If Davis uses this moment to rebuild mentally and physically, he could return stronger and more focused than ever before.
That's why I don't want boxing more. I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me. I want everything out of me where so I don't never think about fighting again. I don't think about even getting angry, you know what I mean? Because I have two girls, two daughters. I want them to be much softer, you know what I mean? Be more humble and things like that.
Shout out to Tank Davis saying that he's going to go to therapy because he wants to soften up for his daughters and he wants to let go of the anger. And yes, although maybe the anger served him in his boxing career, it's not currently serving him now at the moment being the father. So shout out for Tank Davis. That's a real man. A real man is willing to be gentle in a tough, cruel world, right? It doesn't take much for us to be angry in the angry world. It takes a lot of courage for us to soften up and shine our light, whereas we've been maybe in darkness our whole lives, or maybe our darkness got us to success, right? So like Tank Davis obviously became successful, putting the anger towards boxing, but now he's on his next level of life and stepping into his therapy era, which I love to see. So shout out to Tank Davis for stepping into your healing era. Let's go.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned, and we'll keep you updated as the story develops. Until next time.